Hello guys, girls, and other. I don't know if you're a space person watching my videos, and I am. Okay, so this is going to be extremely loud. So actually, I'm going to turn down game volume, so it won't be as loud to you guys. But it's extremely loud to me and distracting. But this is just a sneak peek of a game that I'm making. Now, obviously, as you see, this is from Unreal Tournament, the character and the guns. So those aren't it, but you will also see me get a little bit of lag because, of course, I'm recording this really good graphical. Okay, maybe if I look away a little bit, because I mean, obviously, if I had two good graphics, and I'm recording it, and I have a bunch of stuff running in the background, almost out of memory on my computer, and yeah. But I will be teaching you guys stuff today, and real quick, shout out to felmarrr. I'll explain that in a second. Also, I got my computer fixed. That is why I have not been uploading, is because I shattered my screen. So it's a laptop, so that's why. Also, there's the Easter egg of a glowing carrot. So in the future, when this game is on Steam or wherever, Xbox or who knows what, find the glowing carrot in this level. This will be a multiplayer level, and you will get an achievement. So yeah, it's a Easter egg that I already hid when the game's not even completely finished. So not even near being finished. But even this level's not that close to being finished. I mean, I haven't worked too much on it, but I have put a good bit of time to kind of get these nice details, especially stuff like some lights and water. Has a nice foggy sky with kind of a gray dust storm with that. Now, usually you would not be able to go over here, and I do apologize for all this lag. There's a nice castle. There's a pathway, as you can kind of see, to the castle. There's hills. All kinds of fun stuff. 3 minutes remain. Okay, thank you very much. Since there's 3 minutes remaining, I might as well just type in add bots 2. Now, it's going to take a second to actually load the fact that I just plopped in two complete new entities, so I'm just going to talk. So, while you hear these screeching sounds in the background, I might as well explain, not responding, I might as well explain why I was giving a shout out to felmarrr. So, if you guys like Call of Duty games, first person games, whatever, I recommend you go check out felmarrr. He is pretty awesome. It's felmarrr with 3 R's. His channel link will be at the top of the description below, so please go check that out. He will be testing out this game with me whenever I get the multiplayer working. I've been good friends with him for, I'd say, probably 7-8 months. So, I mean, that's a pretty good time. Anyway, I'm not actually going to continue this. I'm going to hit exit, and you guys can stare at part of my desktop. Now, let's shrink this down to fit the screen. Let's see, that fits that side. And fits this side. Now, we are going to file, save all. Just double check. As you guys see, I noticed somebody probably realized this. There's a little red here. It's just kind of due to the lighting, and I've tried to fix the lighting, but I think this might be like a pixel down too far or something, and it's causing it to cause like a glitch, or maybe a pixel up and the red light's coming through. Not sure, but I mean, still pretty cool game. And I mean, right there you can actually see the sun when there's not too many clouds covering it. And yeah, so let's file, new level. I've already saved everything, so we're good. Now, as you notice, there's apples here. I'll explain them whenever we get to that. That'll be a later episode. And if you don't have those, you will not be able to do bots. Most people start with a blank map. I don't start with blank maps. This is, by the way, this is Unity, not Unity, oh my gosh. This is Unreal Development Kit, UDK, obviously, and so I don't start with this. You can put in your own lighting, yada yada yada. If you want, you can remove all this when you're already in it. So that's fine. And I mean, sure, you start with a block or whatever, but the way that most people do it, they set up to be like a grid. Now, I'm explaining this because you might want it like this, and I'm not going to teach you guys this way. So it'll set up like a grid, and then you can see all 3 axes like flat out, like a blueprint, and then your 3-dimensional one. This way you can drag stuff around, and then you can drag the red box around, and then you can like make your own shapes and add textures to the shapes and stuff. I rarely do that. I think I did that like once in this map. But we're just going to start off with something. So we could do the midday, the afternoon, the morning, or the night. We're going to do night because we're actually going to be building a multiplayer map that is going to be in it. So this is towards the desert, which will be more mid-game, okay, for the single player. This will probably be early game or late game. I haven't figured out which way I'm going to make the game go, like yada yada yada. But this is going to be swamp level. So, I mean, I don't really have too much to the game. Now, if you click this and click delete on your computer and click this and click delete on your computer, very simple. Everything's gone. You don't want that. This red box is where you can click stuff over here and make new shapes. I'm not going to be teaching you that, especially not in this video. Maybe in later ones. And later videos I'll teach you how to do the fracture tools and stuff like that. It's a really awesome thing. There's also buttons down here, which you don't really need to know that much right now. You can't even see what that whole thing says. And yeah. Then there's like paths are up to date. No packages checked out, and then it'll tell me like the lighting needs rebuilt. And anyway, but you don't need to know any of that. Or at least right now you don't. So let's start off and let's go to build. And oh, that's right, it's not in build because it makes no sense. It's in tools and new terrain. Now, you're going to start your terrain from 0, 0, 0. It'll be one of the corners of these boxes, depends on which way you're facing. It will I think because I just started off, it should be that corner right there. Not exactly sure. I don't know if you guys can't see my mouse in this video. I don't know what I'm gonna do. So, anyway, it's the one right above this thing. But anyway, I will try to not rely on the map. Now, patches. We're gonna do 128. We're gonna actually, for this map, build 2 terrains, but we're gonna start off with the first one. Setup layer, you're going to see that you only have one option, which is none. Now, if I already set this up before or something, you might have other things, and I'll explain that a little bit later. Yet again, you don't need to know this. Now, actually, if you noticed, if it's either frozen or what, I think it's frozen. But yeah. Yeah, because I can't really do anything. So yeah, right now it's frozen. Yeah, it's not responding, but that's okay because it should respond. Saving will be a good thing because this is very heavy on your computer. You're going to want to save pretty regularly. I'm not going to save right away. Yep, I was right. It was up here. And actually, it did start from the center. I did not know it started from the center. I think mine, I might have shifted this yellow box that I forget what it's used for because I don't use it. Yeah. So basically, you can actually double click on stuff to see what their settings are. So if I double click on my terrain, I get terrain 0 properties. Now, I did not mean to right click. And so terrain, and it'll list all this stuff that I can do with the terrain, and I can open it all up, yada yada yada. And something that if you're planning to make mobile, this will be useful. Right now, enable mobile touch. In my other one, I do not have that put on. I do not use any of the things from these over, except this one. I think that ignores Kismet or something. I forget what that button does. I haven't used it in a while. So let's just exit that out. Now you'll notice this is pretty bland. Now I do have a couple packs downloaded, only stuff from one website which gave me like 8 texture packs, so I have tons of textures that you won't. And I got 2 model packs, I think. So sure, I'll have boxes and crates and castles and stuff like that. You won't have those. You can go find them if you want. Make your own models. But yeah, I mean, it's not that difficult. I'm actually planning on making my own model soon. But if you look at this thing, this is pretty massive. I'm beginning to think I didn't need to do this, but, well, I guess we should start off. So, you're going to want to go here. Now, I was thinking, why not, so you can kind of see the terrain thing. It's there, I'm moving it up and down right now. But whenever I need to use it, I'll put it there. But first off, we're going to put this away for now. Up here, you can click on your open content browsers. You can open this, and then you'll find a bunch of stuff. Now, these were just things that I was looking at earlier, like all kinds of rocks and vines, and you won't have any of these. But, yeah, you will have these. Not those. So anyway, I'm not going to explain everything that you will and won't have. There's still something that I forget that I need to fully load, but that doesn't matter. So if you go to, you should go to favorites. It will start off on favorites. I was on all types. And go to materials, click materials. And I don't think you need those two on. And then you can look through your materials. Now, this is what you're going to need. You're going to need a material. Now, I'm going to actually search moss. If you search anything up there, perfect. This is what I want my base to be. So we're going to select that. And whatever, oh, whoops. You have to click terrain then. Your terrain editor. Then I'm going to bring this up a little bit. You don't need to see the top. But if you go right below where it says height map, you can right click and then you can do new terrain setup from material auto create. Then if you have that selected in your content browser, it should take a second, stuff won't respond, yada yada yada. That's common. And then soon your whole entire map will turn that way. And give it a second. I don't know why it's taking so long. I guess because huge map. Not that huge, but if you were to try to, like, the multiplayer map will not be this big. This is going to be turned into a swampy island. Just letting you guys know that this is not the size of it. So, the coolest thing is that I found is that you can make one look like water and then edit the water, but like make bumps in the water, but that's just a really funny thing that I probably won't use, but I might to change like puddle level and stuff like that. So whenever this responds, I'll show you this. But yeah, like I said earlier, make sure you go check out felmarrr. He always comes and likes my videos, and I try to go and like most of his. I haven't liked the most recent ones because, of course, I have not been able to. Ha, finally. Are you gonna work? Are you gonna work? Did you work? Yes, there we go. Now, as you see, it kind of looks chunky, but that part I don't think is gonna matter right now. Let's see. I forget, because I didn't actually do this for the sand. Hold on. Yeah. We're not going to want it to look that awful. Maybe I'll leave moss there, because if you already imported something and you're going to use it later, don't take it away. I figured I don't want my whole level to look like moss. So if we go to our content browser again, which I actually closed out, let's search dirt. Maybe dirt will give us a good response. And I'll close this out. I said open content browser. Oh, it's down here. It's actually like outside of my screen. So if we move this down, we can go up here and we can search dirt. And we go to materials. And we go to all assets. And there we go. You want to make sure that you click all assets, or else you won't get it. So I don't like any of these dirts. Now I could easily make myself a new dirt, but I'm not going to do that. Now, actually, hold on. Let's search moss again, because I don't think I was in all assets. Okay, even if I wasn't, it doesn't matter. So, what we could do is maybe search something like mud. All assets again, just double checking. Check those ones now. I'm just trying to think of stuff like ground. Oh, okay, here we go. There's some good stuff for ground. So, I mean, you guys might have these, you might not. I'm not sure. I don't remember what I have and what I don't, what you guys have and what you don't have. This looks like some nice ground, but maybe I want this greenish looking one up here. You don't want too many on one surface, so I'm trying to pick out a few right away. But after I do this, I will teach you one more thing. That way I can kind of leave you with something that you can play around with. And that'll be it. If I do that, I feel as if it's too repetitive. But I mean, I could mix them together. But for base... Okay, guys, I am back. I feel as if it's going to respond soon, but I'm not sure. Yep, it responded. Now that I have a second material here, you'll notice nothing happened. That is because you're going to have to change some things. First off, this one, since this is the one we want, we are going to just move this up so that you can see, and hit the up arrow that says move selection layer up. This will take a minute because I am changing everything. Or we could also probably hit ground and make it go down. That works too. I mean, either way, you're moving at one. If you only have two things, then it doesn't really matter. There's also buttons down here that can do the same things, and you can add foliage layers of deco layers and whatnot. Yeah. Another thing that will be useful, and I might as well just explain some of these. Well, for some reason, oh, ground is right here. Oh, everything's changing. Possibly? Huh. What is it doing? Anyway, let's pretend that everything's changing right now while I explain a few things. So, these things at the top do different things, and I'll explain those in a little bit. But first off, I want to explain the stuff in the settings. Per tool means that if you click it here and you set the strength to 100 and you had per tool on, then you click to here again and this will be back to 11. So, and then you click here, it's back to 100. So when you have per tool, it goes to that. Then you can also do stuff like concentrate. I don't use too much of that. And angles and height, those you will want to use for different steep slopes. Then why is it not letting me click anything? Oh, here we go. There is the ground properties. Okay. So, basically, something else that you can do is mirrors. So you can mirror it X, mirror it Y, mirror it X and Y. So that will go in those directions, and it will mirror whatever you're doing. So if you build a mountain over in one quadrant, it will also build it in whatever quadrant next to it, and it's pretty cool. So then the fall off and the radius are very similar, and I don't really know the difference, but there's something that you can kind of play around with. So then if you look at the view settings over here, actually, I should probably move this down a little bit. If you look at the view settings, you can change what terrain you're playing with. You can check the properties. You can view the stuff. You can lock it. You can toggle the wireframe on and off. You can change the color. You can update that, which feels if I needed to do to switch those. Yep, that's what I needed to do. Sometimes I forget to do that. So, anyway. Then you can okay, so since this layer looks so poopy, I will play around with other layers later in the next video, but this is not over yet. There's one more thing that I need to teach you, that way you guys can play with two more things technically. So first off, since we have this already selected, select your paint tool. This will be very useful to you, your paint tool. Now, when you can just slide this down out of your view somewhere, and now what you're going to want to do is hold control before you draw. Now, I'm not going to, actually, I will change the strength to be a little bit higher. Maybe not quite that high. You'd be surprised at how strong it is when you have it at 34. I mean, when you have it at like 49, 50, whatever. So, if I were to have this, and I were to draw along here, it's going to lag for the first time drawing. Now, because I have, well, I should have the other one selected. Hold on. Let's turn up my radius and my fall off real quick. And maybe I'll plop up my strength a little more. Oh, that's because I have ground selected. Okay. Now, if I have moss selected, and we go to draw, it will, as you see in 1 second, usually when you start drawing, it lags. Sometimes you have to do Control Z, which will undo, and then redraw. Now, whatever I'm going to draw here is really sporadic, and then I'm going to teach you another thing. Now, next time when we come back, I might have some stuff done, like maybe build a little bit of an island, colored a little bit, whatever, but that's just to save time in the video. Anyway, now that it loaded, I don't really care what I'm drawing right now. So, if you hold it, it's obviously going to fill up just that color. But if we move over quickly, you see how it's a mixture of the two. And if we click play from here, which is the blue button, which is miraculously disappeared, it would usually be there, and you could play from the spot, but it appears as if for some reason you can't, and I just went through the thing. So basically, as you see though, it's a mixture of both of them. So this is really useful. Like this mossy layer, I could easily layer some moss over top of gravel or on a mountain and just layer a little bit of moss that you could still see the dirt, and or a pile of leaves that you can see through a little bit of, or sticks. It could be just a stick design, and maybe like a dirt, I don't know where I'm going with this, but maybe like a dirt design, and but only put a little bit, and then maybe it'll look like there's sticks, something like that. So next video I might have some stuff done here, and who knows. But there's one last thing, and that is it. And I almost forgot this. If you select your height map instead of a color and go on paint, well, what's going to happen? You're going to draw stuff. And when I say draw stuff, I mean you're going to draw mountains. And the reason why I wanted to leave you with this is because obviously, now your mountains might not look this smooth. Let's say your mountains all of a sudden start looking stinky like this. Now obviously your colors are going to get stretched out, and that's something that you just have to build better. I mean, it's just sense, like either you're going to have to make your own textures that are purposely really fat in the beginning, and then when you color them here with the stretched outness turn normal. So I mean, I know people who've done that, but then there's a tool here called smooth. And, I mean, you can play with any of the tools. I don't recommend this one, or anything down here. And if you guys can't see my mouse in this video, I'm talking about the 2 before paint and any below the one that I have selected right now. So, basically, the one that I have selected now will smoothen this out. It will kind of level everything to be similar. So, now I actually have this surprisingly on very fine. Maybe I haven't played it yet, so maybe this is actually like a huge mountain. I'm not exactly sure, but I'm not seeing like any points anywhere. I'm gonna zoom out. Trying to go backwards. I have no clue where my thing is. Oh, right here. Okay. So as you see, I'm not seeing. Okay, maybe there are a few points. Okay, so I don't have it on super fine. I just was kind of zoomed out. Now, as you see, you can easily put that on a really low scale and everything. And this is an autosave. I don't know what it does because it does not autosave everything. Maybe it puts in some backup folder that I have never found. But yeah, so real quick, if you put on the toggle wireframe, you can see that these are obviously pretty pokey. Now, if you want your game, which I usually increase it once, if you want, increase it once, it will cause stuff to lag a little bit more, like in your game. I usually increase it once, but if you see here, yes. And then one more time. Super fine. Turn off wireframe though, everything doesn't look blue. Nope, that's wireframe color. Turn off wireframe. I thought I toggled you off. And now you also saw how now my pictures are also different, but you will see how smooth, once I rub over this a little bit, my stuff obviously shrunk, but map makers don't make it this smooth most of the time. They keep it pretty close to what I was at, what the starting is, usually shrink it by 1, but this stuff is just beyond smooth. Like, it's scary how rounded this mountain is. And if you wanted to make a game like this, it would completely kill computers, but I think it might be worth it if you were to be able to make a proper game this way. I might increase mine on my other games. Like, on certain levels, you're going to want it more increased than others. This level, I might have it more increased than the other one that I was making, my desert one, because that one doesn't have too many hills, just a few mountains that are very small, and they only need to be little points. Now, if we decrease it, you'll notice soon my mountain will start getting probably poopier looking. Like, if you look at the top of this piece, it just got really poopy looking. So I think that was our starting, or the one after the starting. So not, I think this would be the one after the starting, but who knows? Nope, this would be the starting. So let's increase it by 1, and then I'll teach you how to change your texture sizes in the next video. And yeah, guys, thank you for watching. This has been MitiS for the 3rd time. Check out felmarrr, he's awesome. And yeah, so peace out, guys. Bye.